Now prepare yourselves for the asylum scandal of the year. New Home Office data seen exclusively by GB News has shown that 40% of all asylum seekers claiming to be unaccompanied children are actually adults. And today I'm asking the big question, is it time to biometrically age all asylum seekers and then deport these so-called fake children? Well, I'm joined in the studio by the man behind this research, Ben Phillips. Ben, of course, you're the comms director and the vice chairman of Stand for Our Sovereignty. By the way, Stand for Our Sovereignty, get out there, give them a follow. They well deserve your backing.
Thank you,
Ben. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You've got a few charts to talk us through. The first one shows us the breakdown of the age groups who arrive in our country, and that details how many of them claim to be under 18. Over to you.
There we are. So the first chart, Martin, is to the end of June 2025, from 2024 to 2025. And the chart shows the age breakdown, as we say, 17 and under, 18 to 24, 25 to 39 and 40 and over. So 17 and under, we've just got over 5,000 or 12% of the total. 18 to 24, a big jump, as you see, to nearly 15,000. 34.5%, and then another jump again to nearly 20,000, 45%, and then it falls back down to over.
Good. So we can see in terms of their claims, 12% of them, 5,107, are claiming to be aged under 18. Now we have your next chart, and the big question is, why would anybody claim to be under 18? Apart from the fact, obviously, they get preferential treatment, they're more likely to succeed in their claim being granted. Talk us through the numbers, they're astonishing.
There we are. Well, this is the kernel of the whole thing. If you are unaccompanied and you can claim to be under 18, you are nearly 50% more likely to be approved for your claim than if you're over 18. And again, we've got the data to show that.
There it is on screen now. Talk us through that, Ben.
Look at that. Unaccompanied under 18's approval rate, 84%, an astonishing number. So no wonder there's such a pressure for people to apply.
You're more or less guguared to be granted asylum if you claim to be under 18.
That's right.
OK, that's the point.
There we are. As opposed to those aged 18 to 24, 56.5%. So in other words, there's a nearly 50% differential between the two.
So you're 50% more likely to be granted if you claim to be a child.
Correct.
And you're 84% likely to be granted asylum if you say you are a child. And that means you're much more likely to remain in the country and get preferential treatment in terms of housing, in terms of service provision, because you're treated as a fragile minor.
Correct.
Now let's get to the real number bit. The actual bombshell of your report. How many of them are fakes? How many are pretending to be children?
Well, this is it. Now, just important to say, Martin, this data is up to June of 24, so it's a year old, and we are working on getting the data up to 25, and who knows what those figures might be.
But this is the latest possible data. It's hot off the press.
That's correct.
Good.
Now, those claiming to be under 18, the actual total is just over 4,700, of which 2,854 were accepted as being 17 or under. So that's up there on the chart. But look at that, 1,873, nearly 40% who claimed to be under 18 were actually over 18.
So, Ben Phillips, let's just spell this out with total clarity. 40% of those people who arrive in Britain seeking asylum, who are claiming to be children, aren't. They're correct. Adults.
They are.
40% are adults. This is an absolute and utter scandal. And it gets worse because this could be the tip of the iceberg. And tell us why.
Well, I mean, as I say, this is data from last year. So what on earth might the figures be for the end of June of 2025?
And we also know that when the Home Office perceives there to be, if you like, a fake child, has to take 2 officers to verify that.
That's right.
And if that case then is proven to be incorrect, there have been astonishing cases, Ben Phillips, where the Home Office, the taxpayer, has to pay tens of thousands of pounds in compensation for the hurt feelings and the legal costs of children. It's just an absolute mind-bending case. And there have been cases where there have been men with beards, receding hair, hairy chests, 6'4" strapping lads.
That's right.
Who are claiming to be 16. They're biometrically aged, as being 23, and judges are overturning it and saying that they are in fact 16. It's a total farce.
Absolute farce. You wouldn't believe it unless it had actually happened. And this is what's going on, Martin. And the Freedom of Information request of the Home Office in 2022 revealed 52 unaccompanied children were actually over the age of 30. So it's just one of multiple examples of abuse that's taking place.
It's almost funny.
It is.
It's almost funny, but it's not. And another huge stat that came out of this, in the last 2 years, for which there is data to June 2024, over 3,500 fake child migrants have been caught. Ben Phillips, a lot of people will be asking the question, it's time to end this nonsense, it's time to compulsory age check everybody and anybody coming in the country. They're about to do that for girls and children refugees getting NHS care. Surely your report tells us everybody should be age checked and perhaps deported if they're frauds.
Well, they are. And biometric testing takes place across the EU under the sanction of the ECHR. Why aren't we doing it over here? We're behind we are just a soft touch. We are a laughing stock for the rest of the world, Martin.
You're absolutely right. It happens in Austria. It happens in a lot of European nations. No problems there with human rights. They're in the ECHR. They're in the European Union.
There are.
But we won't do it here. And your report crystallises perfectly. We are an absolute laughing stock.
Yeah. Just one other thing to say. This is also an issue of public safety. Because if you've got these young men coming over here, 18 to 24, being integrated into local communities, sitting in classrooms with English children, English teenagers aged 13 to 16, is it any wonder that local residents and parents up and down the land are absolutely sick with worry?
You're absolutely right to point that out. And there was, in fact, a case in 2018, I believe, where a 23-year-old child was placed in school in Ipswich with 15-year-olds, and one of the kids said, he's older than the teacher. It's an absolute farce, and it's a fantastic report once again. Thank you so much, our friends at Stand For Our Sovereignty, Ben Phillips, for coming in once again. Please keep them coming. And as I repeat, get out there and get onto the Stand For Our Sovereignty website. Give these guys support. They are doing God's work. Ben Phillips, superb as ever. Thank you very, very much indeed.